Meet my new friend Jaleesah. Although she's originally from the Netherlands, Jaleesah's life completely changed when she first visited the Philippines. She instantly felt at home and eventually decided to move there for good. She now lives on the island of Siquijor, where she creates content about her daily life. Make sure to check out her content, links below. Jaleesah and I had a great conversation. We talked about what makes Siquijor so unique, why she chose the Philippines as her forever home, local superstitions, the cultural differences between Dutch and Filipino life, and so much more. I hope you guys enjoy the video. So tell me, where are you from originally?
I'm from the Netherlands, from a city that's close to Amsterdam. Most people don't know it. That's where I lived actually most of my life. But I always knew, at least for the last couple years, that I wanted to leave the Netherlands because I didn't really feel at home there. And I just don't fit into the culture and the fast-paced society of the Netherlands. That didn't really suit the life that I wanted for myself. So I already had something in mind, I think I want to move to an island. Don't know what island yet, but I'll figure it out. And then this just happened to come across my path.
When was that very first trip to the Philippines? When did that happen?
It happened in January this year. I went to Thailand first for a month and then to the Philippines for a month. And I love both countries, but the Philippines is just different. It's the people are amazing. I'm sure everyone is telling you this, but the people are really what makes your experience next level. They're so welcoming. They're so fun, so joyful. So I really felt at home in the Philippines immediately, and especially in Siquijor because it's just such a special island to me.
So on that first trip for the month, did you spend the whole month in Siquijor or did you travel around to different places?
No, I traveled around a little bit. Actually, only Siquijor and Palawan, and I spent about 2 weeks in both islands. And I like Palawan as well. It's gorgeous. Obviously, it's stunning. But the feeling for me was very different than Siquijor.
So how did you decide on Palawan and Siquijor for that first one?
Yeah, well, most of my friends that had been there already, they told me that the boat tour from El Nido to Coron was one of their highlights. So that's what I really wanted to do in Palawan. And I agree, it was amazing. And I did some research beforehand on, all of the options of the islands. And I saw that Siquijor was the mystical, magical witchcraft island. And that just kind of drew me in because I'm really interested in mysticism and the occult. So that just got my attention, and yeah, that's why I decided on Siquijor.
If I was gonna go to Siquijor, what is something that I should do?
Well, I think you should definitely go and see the healers because that's something that's really specific to Siquijor. The native healers on the island, they reside in the mountain side, and if you have any issues with your health or your mental health, they can help with that. But you can also just have a traditional hilot massage there, and that helps you clear negative energy and clear blockages from your body. And those were some really special experiences that I had that were really specific to Siquijor, I would say. And other than that, obviously they have beautiful beaches and waterfalls, but I think more islands have that as well. So I would say definitely go do a mystical island tour or just visit the healers yourself.
So you were there for 1 month in the Philippines on the first trip in January, and then you came back in April, was it?
Yeah, April.
And how long were you there on that second trip?
Only 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. Wow. And then now you've just been back a few days.
Yeah, basically, yeah, a little over a week. And I really got rid of all of my stuff in the Netherlands. I sold my car. That's how sure I was of wanting to stay here.
What did you know about the Philippines before you went there?
Before I went there the first time, I didn't have much knowledge about it, except that it had over 7,000 islands and that some people called Filipinos the Latinos of Asia. And I really like that because I love Latin American countries as well. So yeah, I knew that. I knew that it was a Christian country mostly, that they love karaoke, that's their national sport. Lots of good singers. I sing as well, so that's something that drew me into. So yeah.
So you plan on staying there permanently now, full time?
Yeah, full time. Yeah, I have no plans of going anywhere else.
Wow. So the first trip must have been a big experience for you. It really convinced you that this is the place you wanted to end up. Have you ever wanted to learn Tagalog but just didn't know where to start? Let me help you with my beginner's Tagalog course. Between 2 volumes, this course includes 18 structured video lessons designed to walk you through the basics of Tagalog one step at a time. Plus, you'll also get lifetime access to PDF vocabulary sheets to help you review and retain what you learn. I made this course because I know how hard it can be to find high-quality Tagalog learning materials. I built the resource that I wish I had when I started. Ready to learn? Check the first link in the video description below to get started. Now, back to the video. What is your favorite thing about Filipino culture?
My favorite thing about Filipino culture is definitely the warmth of the people. They love to have fun and include everyone in that. They would never exclude people, I feel like. Doesn't matter who you are, what you look like. Yeah, they're super welcoming and genuinely kind. Even people that like don't have a lot to give at all, they still give so freely. They share their meals with you. They share their joy with you. And that just, yeah, brings me so much joy as well.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that a lot from people, how they appreciate being welcomed into the Philippines, especially like if you're from a different country. You know that there are lots of places in the world that, don't welcome people as readily from another country like they do in the Philippines. I mean, how do those conversations go when you talk to local people? I mean, do they recognize that you're from a different place? Do they ask you about that?
Yeah, it was actually super surprising to me because the first things that I heard when I got to the Philippines was like, oh my God, I love your skin color. We have the same skin color, beautiful morena skin. And I was like so surprised because I'm not used to hearing that overseas, especially not in Asia. So I was super happily surprised that they actually appreciate darker skin and that they recognize themselves in me. And yeah, that actually I think that helped me feel at home as well, that they really fully accept me for who I am. I'm not like too white or too black there. I'm just right. And that obviously can be an issue in other places in the world. But then again, also, I am Dutch and I'm very tall. So I stand out in the Philippines. So they always ask like, oh my God, where are you from? You're so taas. You're so tall. Those are, funny conversations to have.
How does Dutch culture compare to Filipino culture?
I think mostly the community aspect. I feel like at least in the big cities in the Netherlands, it's way more individualistic. There's less time spent with family. And here that's such a big deal, as well as parties. I think parties is a good example, birthday parties, because I've already been invited to 2 birthday parties in my first week back here by the neighbors. And in the Netherlands, birthday parties, especially with family, they're just kind of stiff. Everyone sits in a circle. And they always have the same type of snacks. And you don't really invite people outside of your family to those parties. So it's kind of like more private and more to themselves. And you talk about the weather and how it's going at your job. And there's not much action. When here in the Philippines, parties are super lively. They always have karaoke. They always want to share all of their food with the entire neighborhood. Everyone's invited. So it's just more open, I would say, more open and welcoming. When Dutch people are more reserved and more to themselves, and yeah.
I think Dutch people are also known as being like very direct. Would you say that's true? Yeah.
That's not really true.
Dutch people say what's on your mind?
Yeah, no filter.
What's your experience with Filipinos in that regard? Do you think Filipinos are direct or not so much?
Actually, they are. It surprised me. Yeah, they are direct, and they always deliver everything with a smile. So sometimes they can actually say something that kind of catches you off guard, but then they say it with such a big smile, so you can't even be mad. But something that actually surprised me is that the last week, someone asked me if I was a lady boy because I was so tall.
That's pretty direct.
Just like, yeah, exactly. They just threw it out there with a big smile, like it's a normal question to ask. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not, but it's okay.
Yeah, I've experienced that as well working with Filipinos. Sometimes I'm surprised at the questions that are asked or the things that people say. And like you said, it's never meant in a bad way, but Filipinos definitely say things that I think Canadians wouldn't say, like some topics maybe that are a little bit taboo. Like they'll say something like, oh, wow, you've like gotten really fat. And you're like, what? Like, what do you like? Like, that's just kind of a no for like, the way that we talk here in North America. Like, you just wouldn't say that to somebody because they could get really offended. But Filipinos, they're just like, well, I mean, you have. So what do you want me to say? What about Filipino food?
Yeah, because before I went to the Philippines, my friends that have visited, they told me that Filipino food wasn't their favorite, but I actually really like it. I feel like there's some similarities with Caribbean food as well, like the stews and chicken adobo. That wasn't like a new flavor to me. And also, like you mentioned, island culture, there's always fresh fish, and I love that. So I think Filipino food is really nice, actually. It surprised me. But they do love their sweet food, though. Like, they do love their sugary treats a lot.
Yeah, I mean, like desserts, I think, are popular, but also like with savory dishes like pork or chicken, they have a sweet sauce too, right? That sometimes there's a lot of sugar in the sauce. Like, have you had pork tocino?
No, I don't really eat pork, so.
Okay. I mean, maybe it's cooked with other meats as well. I'm not sure, but it's kind of like a breakfast food, and so it's little pieces of pork typically with like this really sweet kind of red sauce. And I don't know what makes it sweet. It's not really a plum sauce. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but yeah, it's very sweet, and it's supposed to be a breakfast food. I mean, even adobo is kind of sweet as well, I think, in some of its flavor palettes. And so even for stuff that isn't supposed to be like a quote unquote sweet food, there's some sweetness to it.
Yeah, just like the Filipino spaghetti as well.
Yes, that's another one. Yeah, the spaghetti sauce for, yeah, what is it? Is it UFC? Is that the one? UFC, I think, is the spaghetti sauce. Yeah, they love sweet stuff for sure. Do you have like a favorite Filipino food that you've tried so far?
I think I really like gising gising, and the one that comes on a sizzling plate. Tuna sisig. Yeah.
Tuna sisig.
Yeah, tuna sisig. Have you had
interesting. I've only had the pork sisig. That's like the more like kind of typical one. It's like chopped up fried pork with that citrus, kind of a citrus sauce with some chilies on top, right? Like some hot peppers. That's interesting. I didn't know that there was a tuna variety. So I would imagine that it's probably a similar type of deal. It's just tuna that's chopped up. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I think that's probably more popular on the islands.
Do you like Filipino desserts?
Yes, I love halo halo.
Halo halo. Okay, is that your favorite?
I think so, that I've tried so far. I haven't tried a lot of desserts yet, I must say.
Have you had turon? It's like a deep fried banana.
Oh, yeah, actually. Yeah.
It's like the spring roll paper and then wrapping a banana with kind of brown sugar on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah. So, where were the other places in the Philippines that you said that you went to? It was just Palawan and Siquijor the first trip. Did you go anywhere else on the second one, or was it all in Siquijor?
No, it was all Siquijor. Yeah, the second time was really for business purposes mostly, to see where I wanted to host my retreats and to maybe find some housing. So I went around looking for places and just networking, getting to know people that live there already.
And so is it difficult to find a place in Siquijor to rent?
It's super easy. As long as you talk to the locals, they're so helpful. Because actually when I was back in April, I didn't settle on a place because it was still going to be 5 months by then until I would come back. So it was kind of hard to commit to something, because then I would probably have to pay already while I wasn't there. But it was good to see some options already. And then now the first week I was staying at a friend's house, and from there on looking around for places. And I met this girl Geraldine, and she was so helpful. From the first day I met her, she just took me around seeing places that her friends were putting up for rent. And that's actually how I found a place, just through her connections.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds very community right from the very beginning.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, like, what's the population that lives on Siquijor? How big is the island?
The island has, I think, around 100,000 people living there.
Oh, okay. It's pretty big then. How long does it take to drive across Siquijor?
From north to south, for example?
Yeah, or like whatever the longest direction would be, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's maximum an hour. So I think you could actually drive around the entire island in maybe 2 hours.
So everything's pretty accessible. You can go anywhere you want to go. And how are you getting around? Do you have a car? Do you have a bike?
I drive a bike there, yeah.
And is that something that you were already familiar with before you came to the Philippines, or is that new?
No, I drove a car in the Netherlands, so it was different, but I like it more actually because it's so freeing to just drive around the island on a motorbike.
Ocean breezes, blowing through your hair. Yeah. I want to try that. I think it would be really fun to rent a bike and do like a longer road trip in the Philippines. And we were considering even like renting a car in Bohol, because we were filming content when we were there as well. So we were kind of looking for something that could, carry more equipment like our cameras and stuff. And we ended up finding someone who kind of has this service where he will drive his car around, kind of almost like a guide. And so we rented his car and his time, and he took us around for the few days that we were there, which ended up being perfect because, he knew all of the spots. And so he was able to give us recommendations, and, we didn't have to go with anyone else. It was just me and my friend Ryan. And so we were going at our own pace and stuff like that. And when we were driving around, especially at night, I was kind of thinking, I'm glad that I'm not driving, because I think it would take me a while to get used to how people drive here. And there was lots of street dogs running around, and I'd be like so scared that I, would hit one or something like that. Has it been hard for you to get used to driving there?
I think I adapted pretty quickly, actually. Yeah. People warned me a lot about the dogs, especially at night, because they do sleep in the middle of the road everywhere. So you have to be very careful at night when you drive there. And also some parts that are not on the main road, like probably up the mountains and stuff, there are some pretty bad roads there as well with a lot of potholes. So you just have to drive very slowly, hinay, and then you'll be fine. But I think I adapted pretty quickly.
Do you have plans on exploring the other islands kind of in the area? I mean, to begin with, what is nearby? You said that you can take a ferry from Bohol. That probably means it's also close to the Cebu on the coast. And then what else is in the area?
Negros is also very close. That's probably the closest one, because the ferry from Negros, from Dumaguete to Siquijor, is only 45 minutes. Yeah, so those three are, I think, the closest ones: Cebu, Bohol, and Negros.
And is it pretty easy to get from one to another?
Yeah, it's really easy. Actually, you can just take multiple ferries a day to either of those islands, because Siquijor doesn't have its own airport yet. Well, they're building it, so it's like it'll be done in a year or a couple of years probably for commercial flights, but you have to get there on a ferry now. So
I see. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty convenient down there in the Visayas, because everything is pretty close together. You can do the island hopping. That whole area is known for having great beaches as well, and blue water. What are the beaches like in Siquijor? Are they pretty good?
They're amazing, honestly. And the first time I got to one of the most popular beaches in Siquijor, I actually cried because it was so beautiful. It was like straight out of a postcard. The coconut trees, white sand, blue water. It's super stunning. Yeah.
And how is it with tourism? Are there a lot of tourists that come there, or is it a little bit more secluded?
I feel like it's up and coming. Doesn't have its own airport is, I think, stopping some tourists from coming, because they feel like it's kind of a hassle to take a flight and then a boat. But it's definitely getting more popular, getting more known. Some Filipinos were actually scared of going to Siquijor because of the witchcraft. So that's interesting too. Some Filipinos are like, oh, be careful in Siquijor. Don't get any voodoo or black magic put on you. So some are really hesitant about it. And then other Filipinos actually go there specifically for the healing, because they've tried other methods that hadn't worked for them. So then they reside to the traditional healing methods of Siquijor.
Are they doing other things other than healing? Is there like voodoo, black magic stuff going on as well?
No, I feel like that's probably just something that stems from Christianity that kind of demonized other religions, And in Siquijor, they actually have their own combination of, they still believe in God, they still are Christians mostly on the island, but they also have their indigenous practices. So I think it's actually beautiful that they combine that they blend that. And that's what really attracted me in Siquijor.
I mean, there are a lot of different beliefs, all over the Philippines. And my Filipino friends have told me about that as well, kind of alternative medicine and different stuff like that. And there's lots of, superstitions about creatures in the Philippines too, right? Have you heard about some of those, like duende and aswang and all of that stuff? Have you heard of that?
I heard of that before I went to the Philippines, but actually in Siquijor, I haven't heard anything about that. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it could be a regional thing as well, but I don't know if they're supposed to be like spiritual entities or just kind of like these mythical creatures, but usually there's some kind of danger attached to them, right? Like I think the aswang, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it like is supposed to kill babies or like affect pregnant women or something like that. The duende is like supposed to be a little tiny person that kind of lives on the ground. And so if you like go outside, if you're going to like, let's say a guy's going to pee outside, you're supposed to say, tabi tabi po which means like move aside, please, because they say if you pee on a duende, it'll tick them off and then they'll like chase after you and they'll cause all kinds of chaos in your life. So yeah, there's a lot of like superstitions in the Philippines that I just learned about, through my Filipino friends, and it's very interesting. It's all interwoven with the culture. You said that you're learning some Bisaya. Your neighbors are teaching you some words. What can you say so far? What words do you know?
I can say mayong buntag, which is good morning, mayong hapon, good afternoon, and mayong gabi is good night. And then I just know a lot of random like single words. For example, like happy, nalipay, or hinay-hinay is what they tell me a lot when I drive my bike, like slowly. Yeah, like that, just random words for now.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good start. Yeah, I would love to learn Bisaya as well. I mean, there are like... Obviously, Tagalog is like one of the main languages in the Philippines, but Bisaya is also a very prominent language. There are so many Bisaya speakers, especially if you consider that, Bisaya is kind of a bit of an umbrella, right? And there are different dialects within that as well that would even be considered Bisaya. Like Cebuano, for example, is a separate dialect, but very understandable to Bisaya speakers. And so if you include all of those branches of the language, I mean, the population of Bisaya speakers is huge. It's a very useful language in the Philippines for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought for me, it would be more convenient to start learning that first, so I can at least really talk to the locals in Siquijor and the surrounding islands. And maybe once I have that down, I'll try to learn Tagalog too.
Sure. I mean, it'll be much easier for you to learn Tagalog after you learn Bisaya, because like I don't know any Bisaya other than like a handful of words, but I can understand some of it. Let me say that. Not a lot, but I can understand some. Like if people say like full sentences in Bisaya, sometimes I can guess just based on the words, that are the same. So it helps. It helps a lot. Like for example, your example was mayong buntag, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Tagalog, it's magandang umaga. So I guess that's not really a great example, but that maayong, that means good in Bisaya. In Tagalog, they have an equivalent, which is maayos. So they don't use maayos for good morning. It's a different type of good. But the word maayo and maayos, you can hear that they're from the same origin, like they're coming from the same kind of root word or something like that. And, or the other one was mayong gabi. In Tagalog, it's magandang gabi. So there's just one I instead of two I's, right? So you can really kind of, after a while, you can kind of guess, okay, I think that means something about night or whatever. So once you get to Tagalog, it'll be easier. I've been trying this new segment on the channel where I do these kind of rapid fire questions. And so it's inspired from the fast talk segment of another show. I think his name is Boy Bunda that does this. And so we've been trying it out. And so would you like to do that? I'll ask you like these really quick questions. You shouldn't have to think about them too long, and you just kind of give a response really quick. Is that cool?
Yeah, sure. That's cool.
Okay, let's try it out. Adobo or sinigang?
Adobo.
Adobo. Okay, so you do like the sweet Filipino food too. Pancit or lumpia?
Ooh, that one's difficult because I like both, but let's say lumpia.
Lumpia? Yeah, I love lumpia. Boracay or Palawan? Now, you said you haven't been to Boracay, so let me change it. Palawan or Siquijor?
Siquijor, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you're choosing to live there, so I guess that's kind of an obvious one. City or province?
Province, 100%.
Province. Karaoke or basketball? Two very big Filipino things. Yeah. Halo-halo or leche flan?
Halo-halo.
Beach or mountains?
Beach, definitely.
Now, Siquijor has a little bit of both, you said, right? It's got some mountains and it's got beach. So no matter what you're into, you can get it there. Do you prefer the rainy season or the summer?
Summer.
Summer?
Yeah, that's why I escaped the Netherlands.
Stroopwafel or turon?
Gotta say stroopwafel. Yeah.
Oh, gotta represent the Netherlands.
I do love me some stroopwafel. Yeah.
This is cool. I mean, I'm excited for you. This is kind of the beginning of your Filipino journey. I almost feel like we should do another one of these in like a year and see how you're adapting to life there and how it's going. I think that would be kind of cool to do a comparison. But anyway, that's it. That's all I have. So thanks for doing this.
Cool. Thank you so much for asking me.